Greetings to you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Truth plus love equals life. Today I'm going to do a video that, I don't know what effect these have. I believe this is the single best guitar playing, guitar and really vocal and athletic. This could change the world forever. But I can't make anybody do anything or receive it. I can just tell you what I know. I've been spending 25 years of my life doing things like this because of how tight everything was. I called it decompressing. People will roll eyes and, well, you know what you're talking about. I find a guy online who's got a whole thing called Decompression Institute. Meaning you're just basically, now I don't know what he does. I have nothing to do with anybody else. I have no scientific credentials. I don't need them. Could have been a neurosurgeon, could have been a chiropractor, don't want to. I like the ABC chiropractor, by the way. That was awesome. It's changed my life. But this is my philosophy, what God showed me many years ago. This is called the interstitium. You have fascia. Now, I'm not with the Rolfing Institute either. I've had 500 or 600 Rolfing sessions over the year. I mean, I was 400 pounds and my body was like steel, like the Tin Man was all. Okay. This is what changed my life. A couple weeks ago, my dad came by and he was just like, hey, I got this tool for you. And I'm not going to lie, I was kind of like not very happy with some things. And I was like, what? And I was like, well, he's trying to help you. Okay. He's like, if you don't like it, I can take it back. I was like, okay. So I've just tried so many things over the years. I cannot believe what it meant to me. This is called, I think they call this a Massage Pro tool. Now, I don't sell these. I'd love to sell them because you're supposed to make money when you help people. But I think you got it at Costco. It was like $100. I looked it up online. They have like dozens of different, they're called massage guns. I would not call it a gun in this day and age. I would just call it like a helper tool. My brother mentioned it like a hammer just because it looks like a hammer. That's still kind of a weapon. I would just call it a helper tool. Plugs it in the wall. It's like several hours. You just go like this. Look, it has like a little ball that's great for your feet. You can use it on, it's much more forgiving. I just happen to have this one on here. There's a little cone like you can do in your belly button. And then there's a little tuning fork that you could do like a fork, one of these things where you can go like shh, shh, shh. The reason I think this is the best guitar lesson in the world, by the way, this is like, now I've never done crack cocaine, and I don't intend to do crack cocaine. I don't even want to see it. But the joke is, that's like the drug or the high, that's the release. There's not a single person in the world who I believe by the way, all information is given anecdotal, educational information purposes only. This is my personal experience. I specifically tell you not to do this unless you consult a physician or someone with licensed credentials who can tell you how to maintain your own body. I cannot. Every time I play guitar, it's just like, it's sublime. It's just that much easier because your instrument's better. Your tactile sense, you're more open. You can breathe better. There's more control. I mean, it clears your cluttered mind. I mean, it's all effective. Okay, so this is called the interstitium. It's like the in between, and it's made up of kind of like bubble wrap. Okay, and it moves, and it's almost like a web of soft tissue. Now you need the interstitium. But you can just feel all these little speed bumps that just get broken up. And then it's more youthful. You can breathe better. Here's something else. As a Christian, I'm not particularly wanting to get into sexual, but people have, bodies. And God wants you, if you're married, to have great sex. I'm not married, therefore, what do I know, right? Let's just say you were to use this on the penis. Let's just say. Now, this should ever hurt anybody. There's never breaking any skin. There's never scraping. It should never leave marks. But let's just say, what if someone were? I think you fellas, and maybe some of you women, when you see what happens, will make me a billionaire if you knew what this was. Say, friend, just a little tip right here. Viagra is supposed to add to blood flow. Well, if this is releasing all these channels, the Chinese, I think they call it Sha. It's like blood life force. Just imagine you've got a pool of blood in these tissues, even though that's not quite how it works, but it's stagnant. So when you release this stuff, you can feel like a light flush, just like when people do massage or hot rocks or even exercise. If you were to do the penis like this down at the base, like a little turtle kind of stuck in a shell, would you have the best sex ever in your life? Would you be longer, stronger, happier, less tension, less kind of just neurotic and just like, hey, What about all you rich Illuminati devils that aren't going to like me? Because the only thing you people like, look, I'm telling you, the only thing rich people do, because I studied some real rich people, the only thing they want is a new way of sinning or the next great idea. But they all love sex. I mean, who doesn't if you're a billionaire? Well, what do they want? They want like pure cocaine. They want to, I'm talking even bad people, but what about the good ones? What about a good dude who worked? I mean, there's got to be, honestly, there's probably a handful. Not a lot. There's probably 5 or 6 like billionaires that didn't sell their soul. I mean, wouldn't they just want to have better sexual health? What about when men get circumcised? Do you know I've heard, by the way, biblically, you do not have to do that. No. If you want to, you can. It obviously does cause pain. I think some people maybe go too far, but I also believe it causes trauma that you don't need. I heard one dude years ago online somewhere saying that sex was not nearly as like, it was like multi-dimensional before and now just kind of like boring or just one-dimensional with circumcised. I don't know. But what if your body's just kind of numb? Because when you do this, you can feel your body kind of waking up. At least I can. I'm not telling you to do this. It's like it's been asleep, so sometimes it'll get like, should never hurt, just like mildly annoying, or it should be like ticklish, because it's asleep. It's part of your body, like most people don't know, you've got this triple warmer. They do that in tapping, like even though I'm not good enough, I am deeply good. Well, you've got all these energy points here. If every guitar player did this 5 minutes before their show and 5 minutes after, by the end of the tour, people would be like, dude, you're like way better. And so's the whole band. I'm telling this to people who will never PayPal me $1, don't care about me, and will never even meet me, but I care enough about music to just be like, look. I mean, everyone, Royal Philharmonic, painters, I mean, who doesn't want, karate, I think, means open hand. I'm not a karate guy, but just this alone is like, it feels so good. You don't even have to go and pay a massage therapist for the cost of one session. You can do this your whole life without getting up out of the bed, and you just plug it in. I mean, it's literally you plug it in. I imagine it's a lithium battery. I don't know. So what if you were doing the penis like this? Got a problem with By the way, that's one of my little hand signals. I call it the Limp Bizkit because the band's not used anymore. It goes like this. That's funny. So what if you were to like awaken all that spot where the circumcision, I mean, if there was a scar there, there's probably a little trauma. Every time, people who don't know the holistic health, it's like even if you've had a surgery where you were under, your body still experiences it like it was cut into, and that's why I had all this problem with my jaw and my nose, both of which were like pulled forward and making me all shaking, twitching, and this is crazy, but fine. I mean, this is what happened. So what if you were to do this to the penis? Would it be the single greatest revolution in men's health? Would women of the world make me a billionaire for telling their men, he can't tell you to do anything. He has no scientific degrees. But if you were to do this, just release that little guy who's been all tucked down there in the Netherlands, and think of all the pressure that goes down on your sits bones. I mean, it's sitting on this desk. I've had to deal with all this too. Do you think you would have way better sexual response? Longer, stronger, just awesome, just released, and who's to say? I can't tell you what to do. I think you would make me a billionaire. I think every man on earth would PayPal me like $50 if they knew what I was showing them. I think every woman would send me 100. Now, I don't know how it works with the female, but you have the opposite of this. You have tissue that's still your. I mean, think about the pain of a baby. That's like trying to crap out a volleyball, man. Come on. You telling me there wasn't around the uterus you couldn't like massage? I don't know. I'm not telling you this. I don't have one. I bet you'd have like way better sex too, because of all the tension that's in your body, your bladder. I mean, we're all just getting older. See this? Okay. They will specifically tell you on the insert, like, don't do your head and neck. So I'm not telling you to do your head and neck. But if you were to do your TMJ, this has been my problem my whole life, right in here. I can't tell you it's fixed everything yet, but it doesn't cause hardly any effort. Feels great. A few months of that, maybe it would change everything. Now, I'm definitely not telling you to stick this in your ear. Do not do that. But if I had tinnitus, can you see how light I'm touching that? Like I'm barely touching it. But if I got right in there and just let it slowly release, doesn't hurt me. What about up here in the TMJ spots? This is your gripping muscles. This is a big deal for me. I'm not telling you to do the head. This is all under spiritual, prophetic gift from God. By the way, Christians are going to tell you that's a work. You're supposed to work to receive that which you do not earn. By the way, falsely accusing someone of being a work is a work. So as soon as someone falsely accuses you that anything that is ever done is not from God, you tell them that's a work and you've undermined your position. You crazy person. Now, you're not going to work yourself into the kingdom of heaven. You'll still go to hell if you got the whole thing done and you were like newborn babe, and you were the greatest athlete, and you had the best sex, best sleep, best breath, sacred posture, you didn't have any interstitial. Look, the skin's supposed to be there. The muscles, the bones, the organs. The interstitium is the grizzle. So the philosophy of what God showed me many years ago, when He opened my eyes, is that we are the garbage that gets resolved. The body inside is the echo of Jesus. That's the resurrected body that gets into the kingdom of heaven. This is my filthy me dying. This is my filth. This is me doing this for 100,000 hours. I was literally shaking and twitching how tight it was. Because I've had hundreds of body work hours over the years. Now, this is also true. Well, why don't I just believe Jesus already healed me at the cross? That's perfectly legitimate. All I can tell you that is I guess I just didn't have enough faith. When you go on a sinner's cross in your life, you still hurt until you're all the way resurrected. Now, you cannot resurrect yourself by your little helper tool. This one happens to be Sharper Image I got at Costco. I don't know the other ones. They're called massage guns. You can get them for $50-$60 on eBay. I don't know. Maybe you can find a used one. But the amount of money people spend, you could literally be homeless and put this in your pack if you could get enough money to get one. Or maybe you'll find one used on eBay. And then just, if you can find places where you plug in your phone, for the rest of your life you could use this. For the rest of your life you could use this. I do this on the soles of my feet. It's just like, it's a gift from God because it doesn't hurt my hands, which will just make things worse. Okay? So this right here, this is all your football trauma. Do you know that most of what I perceive, and I believe others, as muscle is tension, and most body workers will tell you that. Most of what you think is your structure that's defending you is actually an albatross that's constricting you, and all this tension, toxicity, bitterness, just all this will happen. Neuroses, anger, frustration. You're not going to fix your everything with this. But whenever you have left tension in your body, it's easier to deal with the bad, and it is more fun to celebrate the good. Okay? So this for me is just like awesome. From playing football or bench pressing. Functionally, I believe it's like getting younger. I don't know if you were to do enough of it, would it start affecting the telomeres? I think possibly so. Epigenetically, meaning if you were to get enough detox and resolve, I believe the DNA goes the other way. Like the outside will affect the DNA, just like the DNA can affect the soft tissues and the aging. I think it can go the other way. I don't know that. I believe it can. The telomeres get shorter over time. I'm wondering if you did enough of this and, whatever it was, the good Gravity Woods colonics and the charcoal baths and the whole bit, I'm just wondering, could you actually see the telomeres change? I don't know that. I can tell you that I sure wish I had one of these a long time ago. I'm glad I have one. The sacrum, again, I can't tell anybody to do anything. I have no credentials. I have the greatest discoveries of all time. Those are the credentials I have. But in this world, if you're not like a licensed doctor, it's like you're the enemy of humanity if you tell somebody to use a Kleenex because you don't have a Kleenex degree. By the way, you don't need to be a meteorologist to know it's raining. So anytime anybody wants to tell you that you need a degree to say something, just tell them that. By the way, I also ask them, do you have a degree in English? Because those are words you're using. And clearly you're not credible unless you have a degree and somebody else signs off on your expert vocalizing and use of English. And they're going to be like, well, that's crazy. That's correct. Now, if I told you I was going to operate on somebody, you want a degree. I don't have a degree for that. I could have learned to do that and been smart enough, but I have no idea how to even do that. Fine, I don't claim to be. If you're an engineer, you want a degree. When it comes to truth, when it comes to philosophy, Bible, the people of the world are almost always the opposite of credible. That doesn't make me credible if I'm not with the world. It's just, this changed my life. I wish I'd known about it earlier. I'm glad that I know about it now. I can even do things like this, like with the armpit. Okay? I'm not telling you to do that. Maybe it's sensitive for you, but just a little bit right here. It's awesome. If people knew what this could do, I mean, think about the butt. It's a muscle. It's used in sex. If you're doing it right, then have great fun. Like, just enjoy. And I'm trying to be delicate, but just enjoy. Like, enjoy your lives. That butt's supposed to be the biggest muscle in the body. You think it's not needs to be released? Every time I do, it's just a little bit easier to be a human, less pressure, stress. I call it body sculpting. To carve yourself out is not to carve your body. It's to carve the flesh away to reveal the body. Like what Michelangelo said, I'm just chipping away the rough edges to reveal King David. Yeah, that's the statue of Solomon. That's going to be the Antichrist. Yeah, Michelangelo, that's the bad one. I'm a good Michelangelo. Okay, so I'm not telling you to do this. If you're just curious about if the sex angle is what it takes for you just to be able to like learn about your body and just be more conscious and be a better guitar player, whatever, fine, then you can check that out. If not, it doesn't cost you anything. But I'm just telling you, of all the money that's spent in this world, other than a Bible, of course, and then, I mean, LASIK was one of the few things in my life where I was just like, that was awesome. This is awesome. Some of the best money I ever spent. I call it body sculpting. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it decompressing. You don't have to call it anything. But I would literally like to see a world where just like everybody's doing this around the place and people, oh, I bet you could cut healthcare in half. With all the just generic pain, inflammatory, depression, you'd probably see less suicides, just general fatigue, pain, aches, the whole bit. You do whatever you want with it, but it could change the world. If it changed your life, I do hope you PayPal me a few dollars because I wish this was done to me. I mean, I would have been jumping up and down to PayPal you a few bucks if I knew about this years ago. I don't know how long these have been out, but they're a great opportunity to change the world. They call them massage guns. I would just call them little helper tools. They're great. If I had kids, I would do just a little bit on them every day, and by the time they were grown adults, there's just no talent. I would show them how to just do a little bit. Here's your muscles here. Do this on the thigh. Do this on the butt. Do this on the back. Do this on your shoulders. Your whole life is 1,000 times better, son. Daughter, we love you. Okay, praise Jesus. Truth plus love equals life. Spiritually, we are to carve out our ego, which is the flesh manifestation of it. And that's only good by the sword of truth. Please check out my videos, The Seal of God in the Bible. Truth plus love equals life. I love you.